Welcome back. So last time, we totally mastered subtracting from those nice, clean, round numbers like 1,000. Today, we're cranking it up a notch. We're going to learn a universal method that can handle absolutely any subtraction problem you throw at it, all in one single clean line.
So let me ask you something. Are you just fed up with the old way of doing subtraction? You know the drill. Borrowing from this column, carrying over to that one, scratching out numbers. It just gets messy, right? Well, what if there was a way to just skip all of that?
Yeah, subtracting from a number like 1,000, that's pretty straightforward. We've seen how easy that can be. But let's be honest, real life is rarely that neat. We're usually dealing with messy problems, something like 532 minus 278, where the numbers just don't want to cooperate. This is where the old method gets painful, but it's exactly where our new method is going to shine.
The key to all of this lies in what I like to call the mismatch secret. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful rule that turns these messy problems into something you can solve just by scanning from left to right. No borrowing at all.
So what exactly is a mismatch? It's the easiest thing to spot. Just look at any column in your problem. If the bottom digit is bigger than the top digit, that's it. That's a mismatch. That's our signal to switch gears and use our special technique. And our secret weapon for these mismatches? It's our old friend, the Nicolum Sutra, all from 9 and the last from 10. We used this to find complements before, and now we're going to use that exact same skill to completely solve these tricky columns.
All right, enough talk. Let's put this into action. We're going to solve 532 minus 278, and we're going to do it from left to right. Just follow along with me, and you'll see just how smooth this really is.
Okay, starting on the far left, we've got 5 minus 2. That's 3. Easy peasy. Now, every instinct in your body is probably screaming, write down the 3 and move on. But stop. Don't write anything yet. This next bit is the most important part of the entire method. This is the one habit you have to build. Before you write down any answer, you have to do what I call the architect's job. You have to look one column to the right to see what's coming up next. This single step makes the whole system work like magic. So let's go back to that first column. We calculated 5 minus 2 is 3. Now we do the architect's job. We peek next door. We see a 3 on top and a 7 on the bottom. Uh-oh, since 7 is bigger than 3, that's a mismatch. And because we see that mismatch coming, we have to adjust our plan. We take our current answer, 3, and we reduce it by 1. So the first digit we actually write down is a 2. Okay, on to the middle column, which is our first mismatch. We don't subtract here. Instead, we take the bottom number, 7, and find its complement, which is 3. Then we add that complement to the top number, 3 plus 3 equals 6. But wait, what's the rule? The architect's job. We look ahead to the final column, and we see another mismatch, 2 versus 8. So because of that next mismatch, we reduce our current answer of 6 by 1, and we write down 5. And we're at the finish line, the last column. It's a mismatch. So we take the complement of the bottom number, 8, which is 2. We add that to the top digit. 2 plus 2 is 4. Now, do we look ahead? Nope, there's nowhere else to go. We're at the end, so we don't have to reduce anything. We just write down the 4. And just like that, there it is. We went from left to right, applied our rules, and got our final answer. 254. No borrowing, no carrying, no mess. Just a clean, one-line solution. Okay. Now that you've seen how it works, let's do a few reps to build that muscle memory. The goal here is just to get the rhythm down so you don't even have to think about it. Let's start with 81 minus 47. Left column, 8 minus 4 is 4. Look ahead, you see a mismatch. So we knock the 4 down by 1 and write a 3. Right column, that's our mismatch. Complement of 7 is 3. Add it to the top digit, 1, and you get 4. Final answer, 34. See? You can really start to feel the pattern now. Let's pick up the pace. 641 minus 389. Left. 6 minus 3 is 3. Look ahead. Mismatch, so we write 2. Middle. Complement of 8 is 2, plus 4 is 6. Look ahead. Mismatch, so we write 5. Last. Complement of 9 is 1, plus 1 is 2. The answer is 252. How about 725 minus 598? First, 7 minus 5 is 2. Mismatch next door. Write 1. Middle. Complement of 9 is 1, plus 2 is 3. Mismatch next door. Write 2. Last, complement of 8 is 2, plus 5 is 7. And our answer is 127. So what happens when a column isn't a mismatch? Let's check it out with 5432 minus 2671. The first two columns have mismatches ahead, so we do our thing. We get 2, then 7. Now look at the third column. 3 versus 7. It's a mismatch. Complement of 7 is 3, plus 3 is 6. But before we write it, we do the architect's job. We look ahead, and we see 2 minus 1. Hey, that's not a mismatch, so we don't reduce the 6. We just write it down. And for that very last column, we just do normal subtraction. 2 minus 1 is 1. The method is smart enough to handle it.
People sometimes get thrown off by zeros, but the rules don't care. They work just the same. Take 8041 minus 4385. That second column, 0 on top, 3 on the bottom, it's just a mismatch. The complement of 3 is 7. Add that to the top digit, 0, which gives you 7. Look ahead, you see another mismatch, so you reduce that 7 by 1 and write down a 6. Zeros are no big deal.
And yes, because this method is truly universal, it works perfectly with decimals too. All you do is line up the decimal points and then just ignore them. For 63.25 minus 47.98, you follow the exact same steps, column by column. The decimal point just holds its place and drops down into the final answer. It's that easy.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. We're going to boil everything down into one clear set of rules. This is the final blueprint for becoming a master at the architect's job.
Here they are, the 4 key rules. First, always work from left to right. Second, and this is the big one, before you write anything down, you must look ahead to the next column. Third, if that next column is a mismatch, you reduce your current answer by 1, period. And finally, for the actual mismatched column, you just add the top digit to the complement of the bottom digit.
If there's one thing I want you to burn into your brain, it's this. The whole system lives or dies on that look-ahead step. Forgetting to reduce your answer when you see a mismatch coming is the #1 mistake people make. You have to peek at the next column, always.
And that's it, the universal method for one-line subtraction. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If something as fundamental as subtraction can be simplified this much, what other things in our lives, maybe at work or in our learning, are we making way more complicated than they actually need to be? Something to chew on.